Hello, darlings. Wanted to follow up on the energy shifting in the past week. So we've been receiving a lot of new energy, and I haven't had one of those exciting days since the last video, but I have been more present within myself. What I'm noticing personally is that I'm stepping more into presence and feeling and observing. So difficult, challenging situations are rising in my personal life, yet I stay in my heart and in my presence. So I feel like I'm handling it differently with more presence and more grounded than I used to. So kind of you're breathing, you're relaxing, you're not panicking anymore, the anxiety. You notice the anxiety and you fix it with the breath. So that becomes second nature. At least this week, that's how it's been. And my family has been facing something like a shocking event, a health challenge of one of my closest family members. So that brings to forefront a lot of different topics, as well as everyone having their own free will and their own destiny and their own challenges in life, and how the relationships are nourished in our society, in our family structures, how we offer love, how we receive love. I have been reflecting a lot on my own feelings and connections, and maintaining gentle boundaries and being lovingly present for those that are close to me, that I care about, and to find that balance of self-care so that you can give from overflowing with love, right? Because that's ultimately what we want to do. We don't want to do it from the burnout when we become resentful. That is never the desire of the person receiving or the person giving. So I feel like relationships are evolving and the sense of self is evolving deeply. And so we've been receiving a lot of energy and accumulating that newfound and newly received energy in our bodies and our cellular structures. And we can embody more of our light as we are flowing through life. I also noticed that I'm more present day to day without thinking too far ahead. So definitely living more in the present moment. And honestly, I've been also tired, but it feels like getting used to living this way of more of a presence, purer presence is taking more energy, maybe because we're not used to it, and also because of the challenging emotional situations and worrying about loved ones, and the lessons of how we should be taking care of our bodies, how our bodies are our best friends, really, right? So we are here to embody the divine, to bring it into the physical, and we cannot do it with our bodies. In order for us to stay on this earth and create new reality here, we should be well in our bodies. And so we need to take care of ourselves on all levels. How we eat, how we exercise, the quality of sleep that we're getting, the rest, taking rest when we need rest. Yesterday I fell asleep around, I don't think it was even 9 o'clock yet, but I stopped feeling guilty about it. My body really needed it, so I allowed it. And it was wonderful, healing, deep sleep, for which I am very grateful. I often sit in meditation and I notice how the energy is flowing, and I feel it's healing me deeply as it flows through, and then I'm connecting to the energy from the outside of my body. So that's has been this experience has been more available, with more recurrence, which is wonderful. So we are definitely proceeding. Maybe we won't see the changes in society, drastic changes yet, but I think if each one of us observes how we are changing internally, we will notice that profound shift is happening at the moment. So I want to encourage everyone to keep going and to be as present as possible. It's not an easy task to not worry about the future. It's definitely, but that we can develop a practice to spend more time in the present moment with our bodies, with whatever we're doing in the present moment, especially when we're interacting with those we love, when we're having deeper conversations, that we're meeting new people, and then when we're sharing and in deep rest. We cannot rest if we are worried about the future. I know this is simple concept that everybody should be getting, but we keep forgetting and doing things out of habit. So I don't think we have enough reminding. I keep reminding myself, I keep reminding others, and seriously, it is very helpful to keep redirecting that focus inward into presence and towards listening to someone when you're committed to communicating with them, when to receive that beautiful energy that we are offered, the high vibrational energies that are coming in. We have been spending so much time in July strengthening our foundations, our alignment to ourselves, that sense of self-love, and the practice of taking care of ourselves. There was also a shift to find ways to make life easier, to cut out unnecessary anxiety, stress, and activities that drain us. I personally also am changing my routines to make it easier to flow through the day, to make it more joyful. I find myself eating without the TV or drinking a cup of coffee in quiet, just listening to birds and enjoying that immensely. These little simple moments in life are so rich and so delicious. Just imagine biting into fresh fruit when you're craving that specific fruit, and it's things like that that make it unforgettable, like these physical experiences that we can have while we're in our physical bodies. That is the point. Today I saw a gentleman with a t-shirt which had a sentence on it written, if you live, if you don't have a life of purpose, you die for nothing. It is kind of sad, yet to the point, like a truth cutting through layers of BS. What is our purpose? What are we here for, right? We are here to experience, to have an adventure, to love, to be joyous, to create a life of meaning, not to operate from a survival mode. This is what we are reprogramming, how we are living. We're shifting perspectives from the survival, from we're constantly worrying about the future, to true presence and offering our love and to paying attention to what we're doing and how we're feeling. I find that the compass within is getting more and more precise. We are developing that skill to figure out where to go. For a while, it seemed maybe that you are walking around in the fog, in the dark. But now that we have practiced closing our eyes, feeling within our hearts, we could say, okay, this is the path. This is where we go, because when we hold something in our heart, in our focus and feel what it is, what kind of energy is associated with that, there's going to be feedback, and that feedback is our intuition and our guidance. It's not out of habit, it's not out of addiction. There's a organic feeling associated to it. So like an example of addiction, right? You feel like eating junk food and you crave it, right? There's a certain feeling of the craving. And then also on the other hand, for example, you like specific fruit and you are craving fruit, and that craving for that fruit, it feels very aligned, right? There's an organic feeling to it. It's something that your body genuinely seeks, and it's good for you. So we are developing discernment to see what is it coming out of existing patterns and outdated beliefs and addictions versus what is genuinely aligned and in love. It's associated with our self-care, our self-love, and in harmony and balance to all. So I'm very excited that we are progressing. First, we are changing from within, and then we will see our energy rippling outward. Today I was at the physical therapy and I was just observing people around me, taking care. The therapists were taking care of the people who needed help, and I just sat there observing, witnessing, feeling my own energy, and my body was responding in that pure presence. It started moving like a vortex because my Kundalini gets activated whenever I'm aligned with something and in balance, so it goes in like a spiral. It goes in a spiral. So to feel your own energy resonating, it's another confirmation to see kindness in the world, and then you feel yourself ripple out like this peaceful energy that you are sitting in. You're witnessing, and then it becomes larger and larger because whatever we're focusing on, it grows. So when we're focusing on the love within ourselves, on that peace, on the joy, on the harmony, it amplifies, and then we present with it, and it ripples out, and we are offering that to other people. And those who are ready to receive can. They may not be aware of it consciously, but we are changing the environment of the rooms where we are, on the streets where we walk. I often strangers smile at me and say hello, or they comment on how joyful I am in the morning. And then sometimes people complain about things because they want to have a witness to their issue that they're having a hard time with. And I offer a different perspective after listening to them, and then they feel better, and then they leave saying, oh, I never thought of it that way. So we are constantly planting seeds. We are changing the world with our presence and our words and our actions. Thank you for listening and for commenting and for watching the videos. I'm very grateful for the people who are enjoying my channel and having positive feedback. So thank you very much, and I'll talk to you next time. So much love.